we're here tonight talking about a particular issue that I find really troubling, something that touched me very deeply. The two people that we have on the phone have did pieces in the media, kind of bringing the situation of Mr. Harry Young to the forefront. I've never seen Lorie so animated before. When she read the piece, and when she watched the video that you did, we were just devastated. I was devastated personally because I'm seeing several of these type of situations. So now, I want y'all kind of to bring us up to speed on what's going on with this black farmer situation with Mr. Young, as well as the whole black farmer lawsuit and where that stands right now. So anyone that wants to start can do that.
Basically, Mr. Young has been charged with allegedly threatening a person who was employed by the USDA via phone. There has been a lot of contentious relationships between the two over the last 15 years or so. They've charged Mr. Young with phone threatening. Activists are saying, well, if that's the case, where's the tape? Who did he allegedly threaten? In the meanwhile, the case has been postponed, and there's some research that reportedly the U.S. Attorney is trying to do with regard to the situation. People such as myself, having seen Mr. Young in action over the past 4 to 5 years, this man is 82 years of age. He is very intelligent. He is very even-handed, and everything he says is thanks be to God. He is a very religious man and believes that justice will prevail because that is what God wants. And he has never, to anyone's knowledge, ever said anything negative to where, he would be considered a violent person.
Now, what about those people that are making threats against him, of attacked, supposedly threats?
He has been getting phone threats for the past 3 years, to the extent that the sheriff of Ohio County, Kentucky, advised him to be armed at all times. His property has been shot at. Somebody shot at his chimney. There's a gouge in the chimney. He has protest signs ringing the frontage of his property. They have been ripped out and destroyed twice. He receives threatening phone calls. The other night, I called him Saturday night or Sunday, and several people in different cars had followed him down his lane. His country lane, he lives on the highway, but the driveway is maybe a quarter mile, and they followed him all the way down that driveway. He says there were several carloads. So, and I didn't mention the fact that a year and a half ago or so, there was some vandalism and trespassing on his rented field. The white supremacists came back there. They trespassed. They did their ceremonial fire. They had even brought back hay bales so they can sit and do their ceremonies or whatever. And when he locked the gates, now the gates basically are about 30 inches in diameter, they came back with a trailer and cut the lock, and then with the tractor rather, pulled those gate posts up out of the ground.
Now, the thing that I find interesting, and I want to bring Corey into the conversation, is that I find it troubling that after seeing your particular piece, that nobody seems to know a lot about this situation that's been going on, and I find that very troubling.
Well, the problem that you have there is that the former administrations, they have done a great job of keeping this out of the mainstream media, and the mainstream media almost was in conspiracy with the USDA because it wasn't popular and it wasn't fashionable to report on the heartaches of black farmers, via the situation we had with the Katrina down in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been, just a sad story in the United States when it happens to people of color. It needs to be out of sight, out of mind. But I don't know if you remember the Susan Smith episode in South Carolina.
Right.
Probably about, when she drowned her kids and she blamed it on a black male. Well, I lived in North Carolina at the time, and they were stopping black males for for 250 miles. It's a double standard on how America reacts when the people of color are the victims.
Well, the thing that I find interesting is that when you're looking at a person who's 82 years old, Lorie, okay, that has all of this land, I think it's somewhere around 300, 400 acres, and he's been peaceably trying to get his land back. I mean, does it make any sense? Like Corey said in his piece, what about this whole idea of America, freedom and all of the values that we hold? Doesn't seem to hold true in this particular situation.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame, and one of the reasons why I think it's very important that we bring this up, and Corey, why I think that your YouTube presentation was excellent, is because even those of us who've read a little bit about this and know the overview about the discriminatory practices of the USDA, as well as the various groups that are trying to harass Mr. Young, the article or the interview brought out information regarding his attempts to get certain contracts that he was well qualified for. In fact, I believe it said he was the only person at that time that was certified and qualified, and was not able to get it. And the reason why I find this particularly interesting is because one of the things we always talk about is that we really need to have perfect examples to bring up, that when we bring it to the individuals or the powers that be, so to speak, that they have to present an answer as to why what should have happened did not happen. Because in the name of justice, we really have to have clear-cut examples where they can't kind of sway it to something that they can brush underneath the carpet.
And Monica, we had a conversation last night, and we just finish talking about that last night, saying that they made a comment that this is like the perfect situation?
Yes, this is the perfect storm of injustice. Here you have a man who is what I call paper lynched. Years ago, when black people got too uppity or got too much property, they lynched them. But now the racists have another tack where they're using institutional processes, forgery of documents, document deception, using the information, your personal information they have as agents of FSA to do things such as release your personal information on the internet.
So for those people that know what FSA is, can you tell them what that is?
It is a Farm Service Agency, which is kind of like the banking and loan organization of the United States Department of Agriculture. They are the ones that give the farmers, and they're also called the lender of last resort. They are the ones who give loans to farmers to buy equipment to operate, to buy cattle, etc., etc. And as a quote bank, quote unquote, or financial institution, of course they have access to everything about you. And things that we have been finding, and this is not, Monica, the conspiracy theorist I'm known here in my hometown. This is things that have come out in hearings. The USDA secretary has 2 reports that they have to give every year to Congress. And all of this information has come out over the past 25 or 30 years